Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Then celebrate it with or without champagne or rum.
Are we live? Are we live?
Everything says Lisa is live, so I got a notification. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
We're live.
Yes.
I can see Paulette's show that we missed. When are we going to redo it, Paulette? When are we going to reschedule our show?
Well, I guess Thursday, so Thursday you could do it. We'll do it Thursday.
Yeah, let's do it Thursday. Yeah. Unfortunate, you know. And I didn't die on the way home, thankfully.
And no bread and no milk, just because of you.
Oh my gosh.
I hope you feel guilty.
No bread, no milk.
Oh gosh.
And it was
That's
like,
okay. We're gonna
we just
have a
to get home
quick show today.
Yes. No. Let's make up for it by making Lisa's show lively.
Yes, today will be good. So welcome everyone to another topic.
You changed your name. I'm upset, man.
I'm welcoming people first.
She changed her name.
What? Oh, you mean I'm Paulette? She's no longer.
Come listen, she's Paulette now. Ugh.
Look, no, and nobody knows what you're talking about.
I wasn't going to tell that story in public.
Yes, you know. Welcome everyone. Please ignore any. To another conversation surrounding menopause, and all of a sudden my heart is racing. Good Lord. If it's not one thing, it's the next.
It's fine.
Oh, I'm having heart palpitations all of a sudden. But welcome to another show where we discuss menopause and all the crazy symptoms and what you can do about it. And today is no different. I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Paulette and Annie. So let me quickly pass the mic to you all to give a short introduction, and then we'll get started because I'm trying to end the show in an hour's time to give us all some much needed rest. So Paulette, my dear, take it away.
So hi, I'm Paulette Hallam. I've been a business executive, C-suite, then I've also run my own company. And then I became a therapist and a counsellor, especially for young children. And then because I couldn't get around every school in the UK, I decided to write books so that I could reach as many children as possible, because anxiety is the biggest issue for children right now, and probably adults too, if I'm honest. And that was the key issue for me to try and help fix. So I'm here kind of in the mental wellness bracket. Back to you.
And I forgot I was on mute. Thank you so much, Paulette. Annie, for the two people probably in the crowd that don't know who you are.
You're far too kind. Let's hope there's more. That the LinkedIn is talking to StreamYard today. They weren't talking earlier. So
yeah.
I mentioned I can see Christy. Okay,
Hi, Christy, and oh gosh, the comments aren't coming up again.
That's what I mean. The StreamYard started LinkedIn somehow.
Oh boy.
What fun we're gonna have! At least they can hear you this time. Look, my friends. Yeah. And I say I'm here just to have a laugh. I'm here to support Lisa on her mission. Yes. I'm publishing books and writing books, and I'm doing a conference in February. Author speakers, Paulette, you're one of my speakers and also one of my sponsors. You know this, don't you? Now you do. You didn't before. Your agreements on this web. I've actually written the agreements out, Paulette. So I'll send those out today. So I see Jane's here as well. How are you doing, Jane? I'm tempted to just give you my YouTube link, but as long as you can see us on LinkedIn, it's fine. We'll survive. We don't make sense of it. Of course, if you're here, there's lots of people here. So if you're here, say hello. So we can see the numbers, but we can't see who it is. So the amazing Jackie Holberg's here as well. Hey, everybody, she says. So how you doing, Jackie? So I was in Jackie's show. I was in Jackie's show last night with a special guest. To Jesse Staten, is that his name? And also Willie J. It's a proper good show. It really was. So why don't we have what Willie J has? Musicians. Yeah. Anyway, it helps him.
Because we're not as talented as Willie. Okay, our talents lie elsewhere.
True. He's young. He seems young as well, but I'm sure he's not. It just the music thing. I think it takes you a long way. It brings many friends, many fans, many supporters. Anyway, Lisa, let's talk about you. Yes.
Why not? Welcome everyone. Please let us know where you're joining us from, whether you're joining live or on the replay. Welcome. My name is Lisa Favek. I'm a dietitian, author, coach for women in menopause and in midlife, because we don't have enough conversations about it. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of stigma surrounding menopause. So we meet here every 2 weeks, 5 p.m. Eastern on a Tuesday, to have another topic surrounding menopause. And today's topic sort of leads into a workshop that I'm having on Thursday, where I wanted to share more clarity on how to plan what your action plan for menopause, especially surrounding health and wellness. For the last month, we've talked about pausing before we create that plan and those goals, to have more meaningful goals when it surrounds your health and wellness. Today, I wanted to talk more about, okay, so we have these goals, where do we go next? And wanted to talk about that plan, that action plan. How do we come up with good strategies that are actually going to take us from where we are now to where we envision ourselves to be 3 months, 6 months to the end of the year? A lot of times I find clients making goals that aren't realistic, or they have a goal and they don't know what to do next. So that's why I'm having a free workshop on Thursday, and I'll put the link to sign up in the show notes on LinkedIn. So look out for that. And it's only for women, and for right, it's for women in midlife and menopause. That's who we're focusing on. Um, Even if you're not sure you're in menopause yet, but you're having strange symptoms, or you want to get a better handle on your health this year, please join us to get some more insights on it. It's going to be a fantastic 2-hour session. But I wanted to start the conversation on, okay, so we talked a lot about creating goals, creating the vision for ourselves, and want to kind of focus it more on the health and wellness aspect, because it's still the beginning of the year. We made some New Year's resolutions and we're still excited about it. So how do we take it from goals to something that's actionable now? So I know, and I just saw the clothes and Paula's background just sort of float away. Sorry, when we were backstage, Paulette was on the roof for me, but she was floating on the roof. For Annie, she was fine. So sorry about that. So I wanted, so as I was saying, I want to talk about, okay, we have goals. Where do we go next? And for me, what I look at for myself, because I'm in menopause as well, is, okay, what do I really want to achieve? And I don't make broad goals as in, I want to lose weight. How much weight do I want to lose, and why do I want to lose weight? Is it just, okay, because somebody told me I need to lose weight? Do I actually think I need to lose weight? Is it because it's triggering some other health condition? So maybe I'm noticing, as a lot of clients of mine do, their blood sugars are now uncontrolled because menopause causes a higher risk of diabetes. Okay, so maybe we're looking to lose a little weight. Maybe we're looking to control our blood sugars through diet, because we're noticing, okay, maybe we're at risk for diabetes. But how do we actually go from, we have a goal, how do we start making that strategy? I want to pass it to Paula because I know this is something she would have done with her clients. Maybe not directly for health and wellness, but the process is sort of the same.
So I'm gonna take you on a bit of a funny route because I learned this from somebody who was very, very smart. And they said that every goal journey is like the yellow brick road. Okay? So if you imagine yourself going along the yellow brick road, trying to get to the wizard, and you're going to have things happen to you on the way, and it's not going to be as straightforward as you go from A to B. You're going to meet the Tin Man, you're going to meet the Lion, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And if you think about the reality of why, if I said I was going to give up smoking last year and it didn't happen, and I said I was going to give up smoking the year before and it didn't happen, then why should it happen that it will work this time? Well, how about that you say, I'm going to get to the end of January. Stop. I got to the end of January. Now I'm going to try to get to the end of February. So instead of taking it as one huge leap from one side of the yellow brick road to the wizard, we say we'll stop at Tin Man, we'll stop at this, we'll stop at that. So you give yourself these little breaks along the way. And I think if you can visualize yourself on that journey as we do that with Dorothy, then you can see yourself achieving it. Whereas if you literally said, I'm going to go on my own, I'm going to go down this road and I'm going to find my way there, we both know and everybody knows that that's when we have problems and we fail. So for me, it's piecemeal. It's building blocks. It's bit by bit. I want to lose a stone. Well, then, okay, how about you work on losing 3 pounds? And when you achieve 3 pounds, you work on the next 3 pounds. You don't look at that big number of, 14, or I want to make 16 pound or stone or whatever you want to achieve, 10 kilos, 8 kilos, 5 kilos, whatever. Break it down into little blocks. And I've always said, whether it's adults or children, we always see everything as this huge, great big. If you imagine trying to be a pole vaulter, and when you first learnt to pole vault, you probably pole vault over a meter, right, with a great big stick, and you fly over a meter, and you go, yay, I did it. And then the next time it goes up and it goes up and it goes up. It's exactly the same thing mentally. You've got to be prepared for it to get tougher, because it does. But all of a sudden, something will click and you'll be like, I've not got that sugar craving anymore. I don't need to put that cigarette in my mouth anymore. I don't need that chocolate every night. I don't need that wine every day. And gradually, that is the difference in mindset work. It's about changing your mindset, but you can only change it. And they say 7 days to change a habit. Now, everybody has a different opinion, but there's a great book that's called The 7-Day Habit. And it literally says if you do something for 7 days, you can change a habit. And on the 8th day, it's now become your new norm. You've got to really believe it. You've got to really want it. It won't happen if you're only half in it. You've got to be intentional, committed, have the clarity of what the goal is, what your dream is, what the idea is. See yourself in the bikini. See yourself without that picture. Every time someone takes a photograph, there you are with a cigarette in your mouth, or a vape or whatever it is. Just see yourself without whatever it is you don't want to be with, and then start your journey. I hope that helps.
I like that a lot. Sorry, Annie, go ahead.
No, I agree. I think maybe it's more of a question. Why do we put the pressure on ourselves you know, at this time of year, you know, say this setting goals isn't. I think it's an oddity. See, for me, I don't know. I don't set goals like like in a new year, new me. No, less of that. You know, it's new year, same old me, right? I think it's. I think we just got to get into the habit of just doing. Just do for today. How's that? You know, if you're gonna exercise, exercise for today. That's what you got to do. Tomorrow, if you're gonna do it every day, then tomorrow do more exercise, right? No point having this. I'm gonna lose a stone. It's not gonna work. Number one, I'm not saying I can't lose weight. I'm saying, you know, it's there's a mismatch between what we think and then what the goal is. Especially if it's a brand new thing. I think, you know, all we can do is work on activity or taking action as we need to take the steps and see where that gets you. You know, if you want more, then you can do more. You can do more further down the line. You know, I think I just find it very odd that we put all the pressure on ourselves at the start of the year and then wonder what end of the year we're no happier. You know, whereas just just do, take steps, take steps, see where that gets you. You
It's a
know,
very interesting fact that I read, and it's about gyms and gym memberships. And gyms love gym memberships more than anything in the world because in January they pick up all these annual memberships and they're on a monthly payment plan. So they're paying 60 quid a month to join this gym. And in January, you can't get a parking space. By mid-February, the car park's half full. By the end of February, you can go anywhere you want to park. You've got no queues for machines, and yet these buggers have signed up for 12 months of the gym. And the gym just sit there taking the money, going, "Thank you very much. You've signed up for a year. Everything's great." So there is a reason for that, and you set yourself up to fail. Let's set ourselves up to win. And that means doing things in smaller blocks.
yeah.
I'm going to go to the gym if I can every day or every other day, or every third day for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, for 4 weeks. When you've done it, treat yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. That's another thing about the yellow brick road. The whole point of the yellow brick road is that every now and again you get to stop, breathe, and say, "Well done." It's really important that you give yourself that pat on the back, whether it's a treat, whether it's a girls' night out, whatever it is, you deserve that for whatever it is you've achieved. And if you don't do that, you don't feel like there's any reward. It's all, it's all stick and carrot style. If it's all stick, it will never work. It's got to be stick and carrot. That's how these things work. Back to you, Lisa.
Yeah, I love what Annie said there about putting that pressure on ourselves and why do we do it. And I think, especially as women, we have all these expectations. We're supposed to be this, we're supposed to look like this. 5 years ago, we were doing this, so we should be able to do it now. And when we set ourselves up, and have that image of ourselves in our head, it's hard to break. I had a client write me an email saying, she has, and I think she's almost at her goal weight, and it's about 10 pounds that she's struggling to lose. And I'm looking at her, and I'm at awe at all the work she put in to get where she is, and she is super focused on, I can't lose these 10 pounds, and she feels like such a failure. And it's because we have all these expectations of what we're supposed to be and who we're supposed to be. But as you said, if you have that goal, I think it goes back to your why. Why do you want to do this? What is so important about losing weight? Attaching up your why to whatever that goal is helps you. And I know we talked a lot about that in the past. But when you said that why, and okay, we have a definite reason why we want to do this, then okay, what are the steps to get there? looking at okay, so what is a stone? You all talk about stones. For those of us not in the UK, a stone is how many pounds?
12, 14?
14.
14, okay. So
Mm.
we want to lose 14 pounds, and sometimes it's very unrealistic in a week, on 2 weeks. And safe weight loss is actually 1 to 2 pounds a week. If you're going to get it to 1 pound a week, you're great. So I see all these ads that you lose 50 pounds in a month. That's so, that's definitely a lie and AI generated, because that's impossible unless you have a health condition. Go see a doctor, right? Um, no, it's unsafe. Your body and your organs can't handle that.
Have your gallbladder out? That works quite well.
Well, okay, besides major surgery that removes stuff from you, yeah, you want it to be safe weight loss, and that's why working with a coach is also beneficial. But we set ourselves, we look at the 14 pounds and we can't lose the 14 pounds. Okay, how about we, as you said, break it up into small things? Okay, let's try for 2 pounds this month. Make it extra easy so that when you lose 2 pounds in 2 weeks, you can celebrate that.
You
You
see,
know, make it,
there's a
sorry?
there's a weird thing when it comes to health and fitness goals, right? Let me welcome our friends. There's many more of our friends I saw just
Oh,
now.
yes, sorry.
I saw,
Go ahead.
I saw Leanna, I saw Kenny. Say Bobby Lee is here as well. So welcome all of you, Jay. You know, as our storytelling genius. Glad you're here as well. Who else do I see? There are a lot more people. Just not
Did you
everyone's.
welcome Kenny?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
The one that called Sugar Daddy Kenny, right? Now,
yes.
welcome all of you. So now we'd love to have your thoughts. And you're welcome to join the studio. If you want the link, just put in the chat any link, please. And
I'm seeing some others.
right.
Did you welcome Mohammed?
No, I can't see him. That's why.
Yes. Sorry, folks. If you're here, please keep commenting so that it shows up. LinkedIn, the LinkedIn algorithm always gets us, and it's not coming up on StreamYard at all. So we're using our other devices to see you. I'm seeing someone called The Boon, and I hope I'm
Now,
pronouncing your name correct. Hi.
D, with my new friend D, superstar D.
D.
Yay!
Okay. All right. Yes. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. Um, I've seen Bobby in other rooms, but I haven't seen him in my room. So welcome. Yeah, so keep leaving your comments. Let us know where you're joining us from. Even if it's after the show, we do respond after the show. So please let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that description of the yellow brick road is interesting as well, because that road wasn't a very straight road. It was a very windy road that took them on different journeys. And I think when it comes to health and wellness, that's sort of how your life ends up being.
Mm.
Different journeys along that road and different challenges that you meet. And especially if you're going through perimenopause and menopause, you talk challenges. If you thought PMS and your menstrual cycle was challenging, you ain't seen nothing yet, right?
Mm.
It can be really, really challenging. So breaking up these goals to bite-sized pieces is a lot more beneficial than looking at the whole chunk. There's a joke, if you try, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? You don't take the whole elephant, right? It's one small piece at a time. And there's a book called The Power of Change by Craig. Gosh, I hope I'm pronouncing it Rochelle. He also talks about that identity. If I'm a person that wants to lose weight, and this is the second strategy we're suggesting. Think about, okay, so someone who has lost weight or is managing their weight, what sort of person are they? Is that person someone who's going to get up 5 o'clock to go to the gym? Is that person going to have a salad for lunch? Is that person going to walk in nature every weekend? What does that person do? So when you're setting the actions and the strategies, you think of your ideal, well, avatar is a word they use all the time, right? What is that ideal person who has lost the weight and is now managing their weight, or has control of their blood sugar, or has control of their blood pressure, or isn't as stressed out, or is getting better sleep? what does that person do every single day, and how could I do it? So maybe you say, all right, a person who has ideal weight and is managing their weight, they get up 5 o'clock a.m. to go to the gym. Okay, well, I can't do that because I have to get to work for 6 a.m. So get into the gym for 5 a.m. isn't realistic for me, but maybe I can go after work. I think it's the same book. He said he told a client, or someone was working with a client, and they just said, go to the gym, park up, and go to the gym for 5 minutes, and then go back home. And every day, go to the gym for 5 minutes. Whether you walk on the treadmill, whether you do weights, it doesn't matter. You just go in for 5 minutes and come back home. And what that person was trying to do is build the habit of going to the gym. Build the habit, okay, I'm a person who goes to the gym. Now, I'm not suggesting that you need to go to the gym. I am definitely not a gym person. You will never find me in a gym. I rather do some other activity. I'm into things like martial arts. That's how I prefer to do it, right? I will do workouts at home. But whatever it is, imagine yourself as that person. What does that person do on a daily basis? And how could I fit that into my life right now?
I couldn't agree more, Lisa. I think, I guess what I've realized is that, at midlife, everything changes,
Yes.
and almost like we can't be looking. Almost like I must say, no, don't look at what others are doing, and I think clarity about our goals is the first part. I think many of us are confused. I would love to have a six pack. I'm 51. I'm saying, right. I love to look like when I was 18. I never will, so I can accept that, right? That's fact, right? So so it almost doesn't make sense to try and do the same thing. I think now my ultimate goal is health and well being, right? Being healthier, being healthy, not being ill and not being in pain, right? I think that's a different conversation to I want to lose 10 pounds, 12 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever, right? See, there's a realization, I think, as we go along this thing called life, and especially at this age, like I say, you realize that what works for you is almost unique, it's almost individual, right? So I think you have to find your own solution, rather than. So when I exercise, Lisa, I don't get smaller, I get bigger because of the exercise I do. I lift weights, so I just get bigger and bigger. If I was going to worry about my weight loss, talk about the root to stress or what. So that's the weight loss is not the game. Be healthier, be fitter, be less. Be less. Maybe more toned. I'm saying this is the real goals that we can aim for. Weight to crash our weight is not an ideal goal anyway, and it's very hard to do. It's nearly impossible.
It
Without doing
also
something
is one of the
drastic.
hard, it's also one of the biggest things that makes people think they're a failure.
Yes.
We have so many women, and I'll say this now because somebody needs to. We have so many women with eating disorders and menopause, and it can make people put weight on, and it always is around the middle, and it's a very difficult time. And I have friends who they call it their apple belly, right? They can't get rid of their apple belly, which means they're very fairly slim with this sticky out belly. And it's called an apple belly, they call it. And I said to them, well, love your apple belly. And they were like, what? I said, just start loving it.
Yeah.
What do you mean by loving it? I said, put cream on it. Tell it how lovely it is. I said, the more you make this belly feel part of you, the less you'll hate it. And then gradually you'll just start to find clothes that work with you and your belly. And then if the belly goes, great. If the belly doesn't go, you've still got clothes that look nice. Stop making everything about the apple belly, because it's kind of become like your fixation. And
Yeah.
every time I see you, we talk about the apple belly, and I'm like bored shitless of the apple belly. So the point is, let's stop finding fault with ourselves, stop blaming ourselves, stop seeing ourselves as failures, because the mental stress that puts on you is unbearable. You will give yourself high blood pressure, you will give yourself stress headaches, you will give yourself, the possibility of migraines through stress, because you worry about the thing that you didn't do that you should have done, that you promised yourself you were going to do every day and didn't do it. So why put yourself in that position? Why not say, this is going to be a windy road. I'm going to do the best I can today, and let's see how tomorrow goes. And so it goes on. And day by day, you see a change. And if you write down, this is one of the best things I can tell you. If at the end of the day, you have a pen and paper in your hand and you write down three things, one thing that you were really surprised about. The second thing is something that you were pleased about. And the third thing is something you'd like to change, right? And if you do that every day, you'll start to find that the positivity is coming out of the pages at you, back at you. Because I did that. I said I'd do it and I did it. And you're like, yeah, I'm a winner. And actually, you only did it for one day, but it doesn't matter because you did it. I ate my 5 a day. Woohoo! Let's celebrate the wins, as small as they are, and then the bigger wins will come. But you have to be prepared to understand you have to make those goals small enough to achieve them and then build on them. And there's a great saying about foundations. If the foundations aren't strong, the house will fall over. And we're building a strong house here. We're giving you all the tips and tricks on how to not only ride the menopause wave, but also to ride the stress wave, the anxiety wave, the mental wellness wave, the everything wave, because everything we talk about is life, and we're lifing, and how we life and how we do it to the best of our ability is what's so important. I'm never going to be a great skier because I've got two wonky hips. They're all going in opposite directions. I am never going to be able to go on a skidoo because I'll never get insurance. I'm not going to be allowed to do a bungee jump because unless Charles pushes me off a bridge, it ain't happening because I wouldn't be allowed to sign the waiver, right? So let's not build ourselves up to say, I'd like to go to Australia and jump off the whatever bridge because it ain't never going to happen. I'm not even going to walk along that damn bridge. So I'm not jumping off it. So why put ourselves in positions of setting completely unrealistic, unachievable goals just to make ourselves feel negative and bad about ourselves? Be more positive and kind to yourself.
You see, I think doing that, Paulette, being kinder to yourself means finding the things that you enjoy, the things that actually make you happy. Now, I think that, you're writing down, to say, what went well, what surprised you, and to choose anything else, maybe what you learned. That's something else that you might want to write now to make your three. I'm saying, right. Say with that, you begin to work out what gives you joy. And that's and I'm not saying it can't be health related. Of course it can be. You talk to Lisa, she'll tell you what you can eat that will bring you joy, right? And that's good for you as well. Again, the weight loss goal is it's a ruse, it's a red herring. If that's really your obsession, good luck with that. But as you said, Paulette, it shows the seeds for many other things that are just here to make us even more unhappy. The stress of life, the anxiety of life, right? I think there's a way to live and just be at peace with ourselves and do what's good for us, that we actually enjoy. Those are the things that we do more of.
And one of the things that I said about Lisa, and I know you've got your thing coming up. This is next week, isn't it? Is it next week?
It's this Thursday.
This Thursday.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is it fully booked? Are there any spaces?
Yeah, we still have space, yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's the start of telling ourselves, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to go to Lisa's event and I'm going to commit myself to just doing that and learning a little bit more. Step one, you write in your book, I signed up for Lisa's event. I'm really looking forward to it. That is something really positive. They come to your event and they go, wow, I learned so much. In their book, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try that. Just 2 things out of everything you tell them goes in the book. And when they do those 2 things, they've got your sheet that you sent them, because you're going to send them a sheet. Because I know, Lisa, whatever's going to be in that session is going to be written down on a letterhead with all the details, so they can go back and pick something else off the sheet. So for me, that would be a really great, if you like, opportunity for you to say, right, Lisa's got space, take those spaces, please, because we've got an expert in our midst. And how many of those have we really got? We've got an awful lot of people that say they do a lot of things, and there aren't that many that actually do them. Lisa is one of those that does them. So please, if there are spaces, let's get them filled, because you've got an expert. And that's a start of a change. That's an acknowledgement about the menopause. It's an acknowledgement that you're possibly in it, or possibly needing it, or you just want to prepare for it. Or you know somebody else that is, or your mother is, or your grandmother is. Everybody has, your husband, wives. This is women only, but the next one will be for men and women. If it's a success, that's what Lisa will do. And this is the way we show Lisa our appreciation, is by filling her room, filling the courses to show her her value. And to me, this is part of the goal of understanding menopause. It starts with taking a step, and it's just one step, but it's one step on that road. So Lisa, please make sure you tell us all about Thursday, please.
Oh, definitely. Oh, and he's gone off screen. So I loved what you talked about, that acknowledgement of when we do something positive for ourselves. And a lot of times people think, well, it has to be something big. Just showing up to a space where you know, okay, I'll be supported in some way is a benefit. That's a win. You know, a lot of my clients, they always say, okay, well, I could always write down things that I need to change. They'll give me a long list. But when it comes to what did I do today that's a win, they scratch their heads and it's like, I can't think of anything. Did you add more greens to your plate? Did you park further from your office and take the stairs? Did you find time to just calm down and breathe and reduce that stress? All of those little things are wins. And when they start recognizing, okay, that's the win, they end up with pages of stuff. And I'm like, where did this person come from? The same person that couldn't find anything positive about what happened to the day, all of a sudden is recognizing, okay, if I just show up for myself, that's a win. I want to go back just to explain what I meant by the ideal avatar. So it's not comparing yourself to any particular person. But what I've found is that a lot of my clients start seeing, well, they'll try to do this and they'll try to do that. Try implies that you could either do it or not do it. And to me, that's not enough of a commitment, especially if you know, okay, I want to achieve this. It's either we're doing it or we're not doing it. If we're doing it, we're going to do X, Y, Z. If we're not doing it, okay, maybe there's a reason. Let's see X, Y, Z, and let's figure out, okay, maybe there's a better way or a different way to do something. But if I decide, okay, I am going to be a healthier person this month, what does that mean? What are you going to do to be healthier? So, okay, and we break it down to very simple steps. I'm going to add 3 pieces of lettuce to my plate every day. Can I do that for a week? Okay, I didn't do it for a whole week. I did it for 4 days. Okay, well, what made you not do it for the other 3 days? I had to run out of the house quickly. Okay, is there a way to maybe buy a small salad outside? Or is there a way, okay, when I come home for dinner, I have those 3 pieces of lettuce on my plate? So it's very, very simple, very achievable, the least amount of stress as possible. But to me, thinking about that ideal person 3 months down the line, what does that person look like? And we work backwards. A lot of times that helps women figure out what to do for themselves because they know what they want, but how to get there is usually the challenge. But if I envision myself and I tell myself, okay, I am a healthy person, and I am a healthier person this month, what does that mean? A healthier person will take the stairs, maybe. A healthier person will have a treat every other day instead of every day. If I need that treat every day, okay, why? I'm really stressed out. Having the treat is fine, but are we eating to get rid of that stress? Are we eating our feelings? That's where we need to start doing that deep dive. So, looking at the ideal person works a lot for many of my clients because it stops being, I'll try to do this, and it turns to be, I am this person, and I will be that person for the month. I will be that person for the week. And if things don't work out the way we expected to, we analyze why. We don't judge, we don't beat up ourselves and say we're a bad person or we didn't do this. No, we're taking it from a place of curiosity. Why didn't this work for me for 3 days and it worked for 4 days? I have a different schedule for those 3 days. Okay, so we need a different game plan for those 3 days. Right? So we're taking it from a place of curiosity. We're taking it from a place of, okay, I'm building habits. I'm learning about myself. I'm committing to myself. And I'm going to keep promises to myself. And it's not from a place of judgment or comparing to other people. Right? So I just wanted to clarify that. And Ennie's not back, so I'm going to do his job for him and welcome more people that I'm seeing online.
And he's perfectly back. Yeah. He
I'm
can
not
keep
seeing
quiet.
Annie's beautiful face. Where's Annie's beautiful
Shake
face?
my head. All right.
There he is. Now you're back.
I must. Okay. Yeah. All right. Who else can you see? I said Linda. I can see you
Yeah.
now. Welcome, Linda. How are you doing?
I'm seeing Dr. Marcia as well.
Dr. Marcia is here. Stacy.
And Stacey. Hi, Stacey. I haven't seen Stacey in a while. Hi, Stacey.
Thank you so much for joining us. That's Alovine as well. Welcome. Well, I don't know. Suddenly your name is just random on our list. It's not. There's no order that we're used to. I don't know what's happening with this platform, but it's fine.
Yeah.
We're used to it. We're not going to get stressed by it.
Yeah, the LinkedIn gremlins and StreamYard is following suit as well. That's okay. We'll still be here.
There is one thing about goals that I just wanted to say, and there's a word called regime. And if we know what a regime is, we'll understand what I'm going to say. If you treat your goal as a regime change, it won't happen. There's not a chance in heck it'll happen, because you're talking about trying to turn a tomato into a lettuce. All right? It's impossible. So regime change means that you are having to go at something at such a pace that it's impossible to do it. And it will guarantee failure, and it will guarantee misery, and it will guarantee that you won't want to come back and try again. You'll be like, oh, I've done that, went there, did that, didn't work for me. Meanwhile, you've signed a contract and you're paying the gym. But if they've got a swimming pool, if you didn't like the gym and they were all gym buddies and you felt very uncomfortable, go and have a swim, go and have a sauna, just try something. If you're committed to something like a gym membership, phone them up and tell them you're sick and you can't come and you need to put it on hold for 3 months until you're in a better mental position to go and try again. Don't just let that run and let these people collect your money, because that's ridiculous. That's just like putting it down the drain. I'd rather give it to charity. So don't make it a regime change. If you're going to sign up for a gym, then do a 3-day pass. Ask if you can come along on a trial day and look at the sort of people that are there. And if you feel like I'm 10 stone heavier than everybody in the room, I'm going to feel really uncomfortable, don't go, because you don't want to make yourself feel uncomfortable. Go home, put the really great 80s hits on and dance yourself stupid around your living room until the sweat is pouring off you, and then say to yourself, I'm going to go for a walk later on and do my X number of thousand steps. And it might be that when you were dancing yourself stupid, you'll find you did 5,000 steps. And that's half of your daily allowance. But you don't realize it because you're jumping from side to side and wiggling here and wiggling there, singing at the top of your voice, God help the neighbors. And who cares? Because you're doing something that you're enjoying and having fun with. Do you know what? You're much more likely to do that again than you are to turn up at the gym where everybody makes you feel thoroughly uncomfortable. So I really think it's so, so important that we love ourselves, are kind to ourselves, and find the things that, as Annie said, give you joy, but also understand this is going to be a yellow brick road. It's not going to be a straightforward A to B journey, and it's all going to happen in a click of a finger. We're talking about trying to make a difference, trying to make a change. And with the menopause, the biggest change you can make is acceptance. Once you have accepted, I'm in the menopause, then you can look at every single thing that's out there that Lisa's throwing out every other week. We get these amazing sheets that we should print out and put in a book and keep them, because they give so much information. And I'm sure Thursday is going to be a massive success. And please, if you aren't going, sign up to go. And if you don't want to go, speak to your friends and tell them, because I would like to think Lisa's room will be full, because when somebody gives as much as this lady does, we deserve for her to have a full room. We give all the time, people. We give for free, week in, week out, day in, day out. This is what we do. But actually, Lisa has to have an income. We have to get to the point where this becomes a job where you get paid for doing what you're doing. And I've had this conversation with many people, and I don't even want to tell you how many hundreds of people I've helped on this platform. And they've never even bought me a cup of coffee. And Annie will tell you that. We had a thing that says, buy us a coffee, and everyone went, nah, it's all right. I don't think I will. But I'll have an hour of your time every week, no problem. So listen, I'm not going to say it again. When you're being offered something and it's by an expert, take these people up on these opportunities, because this is when you can make a difference for yourself, for the people around you, for your friends, for your neighbors, for your colleagues at work. The more you learn from Lisa, the more you can help other people. You don't just help yourself, you pass it out. And I think that is really important. Sorry, Lisa, I had to do a bit of a promo.
That's okay. And this session on Thursday is actually free, so because it's the first time we're doing something like this. So we wanted to test it out and make sure everything was okay. So we're doing this one for free. So there's no excuse. If this is something that you need support with, definitely sign up. I put the link in the comments on LinkedIn, and I'll put it again at the end of the show. I love what you and Annie talked about, that finding that joy. I think a lot of times we come at health and wellness from this place of suffering, and I have to be stressed out to get to my goal weight and stuff like that. Coming from a place of joy does so many things. When your body is stressed, it actually doesn't work. So being stressed and trying to lose weight and thinking about that apple belly, I saw Jay had a comment. He has a watermelon belly, not an apple belly. When you hyper focus on these body parts, your body actually doesn't release the weight. In the same way, if you were calm and finding joy in what you're doing. So it doesn't have to be the gym. A lot of times the gym offers different classes, so you can consider doing those. A lot of times gym instructors have some of their classes outdoors. So you can still sign up to the gym, but take advantage of the other classes that they have. Get curious about the other classes they have and try those. Maybe that is something that would work better for you. I'm all for dancing around the room like a crazy person. It's coming up to Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago, so we have lots of soca music. So this is the time to, wave your flag and wine and jam, but it helps to lose the weight just by dancing to the song. So find your favorite music when you're doing housework. In between your favorite shows, there's a 5 minutes of advertisements. Dance around the room, and that helps lose the weight as well. I just wanted to touch on a comment the same comment Jay was making. Eating right looks different for everyone. And I think that's such an important point, especially when we meet on LinkedIn and we're from different countries, different cultures, different temperatures. All of those things affect what we eat and what our diet is. And our diet is just a collection of foods that we eat every day. So we need to lose that anxiety over the word diet. It's just a collection of foods. So you get to choose. You have the power of choice to decide what works for you. Some people like more meat. Some people like more rice, whatever, because it's all cultural. It's all what goes back to our childhood. And I'm not a person that says you can't eat anything. If having a scoop of ice cream every night brings you joy, who am I to tell you not to have that joy? Life is too short. We need to have that joy. But what we can do is figure out a way to work that scoop of ice cream into the rest of your diet so that you're not losing nutrients, you're getting everything you need for your body, and then you're finding your joy. Right? So whether it's recipes from the things your mother used to make, whether you're trying out plant-based, which is what I always suggest, have a diet based on plants, but there's always something we can do and we could work around the other stuff. And there's usually a lot of misinformation over foods, especially when we start calling them good or bad, healthy or unhealthy, and it's really not. There's a saying, the dose makes the poison. So having one can of Diet Coke every day is quite fine. Having 12 cans every day for a month, okay, maybe we need to do something about that, because the dose makes the poison. So this is why working with qualified coaches are also important, because the influencers will tell you, stay away from this, don't eat that. And then you're wondering, okay, what do I eat? Air? Everything is bad for you because you're listening to the wrong people. Everything that you like, everything that you see can be worked into a healthy diet. It's how you do it, when you do it, the timing, and there's so much that goes into it. And when you're stressed out about menopause and your body's already all over the place, you don't want to add more stress on top of that stressed out body. So doing things like intermittent fasting can work. But if you have diabetes, it's not something I suggest until you get your blood sugars under control. So there are little things you could do. And this is why I would suggest to everyone, if you're in menopause, if you're in midlife and a woman, because it's geared towards women, come to the workshop and let's help you get a plan for yourself. And I'm definitely open to doing one for men, because men also go through male menopause. Men also go through midlife and have struggles in the same way. So definitely we can do another session. But the one on Thursday is really for women.
Lisa, also,
Mhm.
can we just say again that in most families, in most households, there's a man and a woman. And if there's a man and a woman, and the woman is going through menopause, and the man is standing there going, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what I said. I just might have made a comment about that extra scoop of ice cream, but she lost it. You don't know why. You know, the thing about this whole conversation is that goal that she had about the being good all week and having the one scoop extra on Friday. And now you've made a point of saying, oh, I thought you were on a diet. I thought you
Oh
were
my
giving up.
God.
Bang,
I
boom, explosion, right?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that people do not understand. That is exactly what happens. We have a point where you just go bang. And once you've reached that point, there's no going back. And now it's a blazing row, and you're not supporting me, and you don't know what it's like to be in menopause. You know, you da. And it all gets very, very, very personal and difficult. And what I'm a great believer in, and more so since I've known Lisa, more so since I've learned more about just how that relationship works, where it's like walking on eggshells one day, another day it's all fun and fine, another day it's eggshells again, and you're like, oh, do you know, this woman is like unhinged. Well, no, she's not unhinged. She's going through something that she isn't actually understanding herself. And if you can't understand it yourself, how the heck do you explain it to somebody else? And I think that is something that, you know, again, talking about the goals, talking about plans, don't say to somebody, I thought you said. Don't say to someone, you said you're only going to drink 2 cans of Coke this week. I thought you said you weren't going to drink any more Red Bull. I thought you said, you know, as soon as you do that, I thought you weren't going to drink any more this week. Bang, off you go. Because what you don't know is that they haven't had a drink all week. You didn't notice, but you noticed this drink because you haven't seen her with a drink. Now you see her with a drink, you say, oh, I thought you said you were having a dry week. And it's like, this is my Friday treat, you know? And I think, so discuss your plans with your partner. Tell them the plan is, I'm not going to have ice cream all week, but Friday's my day. I'm not going to drink wine all week, but Friday, there'll be a glass of wine. And then they kind of act as your support network, not against you. And I think that is crucial in a relationship, because we fly off the handle when we are especially in menopause, especially when our hormones are raging, especially when you've had a hard day. The last thing you want to be is having somebody acting as your accountability partner when you never asked them to be, right? You know,
Exactly.
don't be telling me about what I should and shouldn't be doing, pal, because you'll get read your fortune, you know? So the problem is, it's about that, let's be a partnership thing. I'm not going to have ice cream all week, but Friday, you know,
I think
I'm going to have a
that is
glass of
so
wine on
important.
Saturday. It's a really good way of bringing the two together so you understand, you know, and you can say to your partner, by the way, we're having a lot more salad. And they'll go, you can have it with your steak, but you're having salad. We're all having salad. I'm having salad. You can have your steak. I won't be having steak. But you know, the way you introduce that salad is alongside their steak. So they don't feel like they're missing out. They're getting a steak, but they're having it with salad. They're not having it with, you know, whatever. And I think that to try and bring it into the family and try and get the support of the family, you'll find you'll have far more success than raging at each other about a scoop of ice cream. Do you understand? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, that communication, especially between partners, when sometimes in menopause you don't feel like talking to your partner, you don't want to be around them. So finding time to explain what you're going through and what your plan is for the week, for the month, whatever it is, and getting them to say, okay, like you said, if you see me on Friday, this is my treat. Maybe join her and have the treat with her. Maybe plan a movie night where you share the scoop of ice cream while you look at something. So now it's becoming a bonding experience. But I think also to also say, because you're trying to understand menopause as well, if you see me eating ice cream on another day, it's because something has gone terribly wrong and I really need that ice cream. So also don't judge me if you see me veering from my plan. Maybe ask a question, maybe ask if you need support with anything, what happened today. Don't come from a place of, okay, I see you eating ice cream, something must have gone wrong. Don't come from a judgmental place. Or maybe let her have the ice
Curiosity.
cream.
You used the
Yes.
word earlier.
Yeah, curiosity. Or
Curious.
just
Don't be
leave her alone.
judgmental.
And the next day ask a question. I thought the plan was Friday. I saw you eating it yesterday. Did something happen? How can I help? Come from that place of love and curiosity instead of blame and shame. And trust me, the woman feels so much more supportive and will include you into that conversation instead of always, as you said, flying off the handle, because she knows, okay, you're actually coming from a good place and with more positive intent. There's a comment from Olivin. She says 12 hugs per day make us in a better shape, physically, biologically, mentally. And I just love that. Smiling and laughing releases stress. 12 hugs a day, I don't know who's going to be hugging. Annie is definitely not hugging anybody. 12 hugs a day. But listen, I think that's beautiful. If you can get someone to hug you, just hug you and just stay there hugging you. Don't ask me anything. Don't judge me. Just give me a hug. You can walk away after. That's fine. I don't mind that at all. I'm seeing Martha's here. Marsha. Hi, how are you? Welcome. Anything you want to add, Annie?
I think that there's something in in what said what Alavin said, and I think what Paulette said as well. I think there's something in how many of us have a strategy for our relationships. I don't mean our partners and so I say just relationships full stop, right? See all the problems we have in life, all of them. I don't say some, all of them come down to relationships with other people in our lives. So it makes sense to really genuinely sit down and think, and make a plan. Maybe set some goals for how we're going to relate to people. Well, as much as I say all the problems come from how we relate to people, so does our happiness. That's what we should be setting goals, not the unobtainable exercise and physical looks that will take us back to our youth. Some can achieve it, but it's extreme. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying, we've seen some people who have turned the clock back and they look like 14. I don't know what the joy in that is exactly, but yeah. Anyway, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. Paulette. We've seen one person do it and do it well, right? No one else I've seen do it. But having our relationships, we can work on, being happy, being happier with the people in ourselves and people around us, and that would just bring more happiness. And so everything else we might want to do can almost feed off that. Let's stop obsessing about how we look, and let's start thinking about the real things, the things that really do bring us joy. That's what I would say. Let me leave it there.
No, that's so important. Oh,
No, God, I was going to say after you.
No, I was just going to say it's important to make sure that we surround ourselves with the right people as well, so that we have those, when we're working on relationships, that is the right relationship we're working on, to make sure we find that joy. Because you're right, again, life is too short. This past month, I've seen about 10 people put up posters of people they've lost, young people, 30s, 40s. All of a sudden, just they're gone. And it was just so shocking to me that you don't get to say the things you want to say to them. So making sure you have the right people around you and focusing on those relationships. What bring me joy? What can I do with these people? You haven't seen them in a month. Can I make a phone call? Can I go out for a lunch, a dinner, a coffee? Find those activities that bring you joy. And maybe they're also going through the same thing as you, and can now work with you as your accountability partner or your training partner, because we're all going through this. A woman in midlife, we're all going through the same thing, right? We're in different countries. It doesn't matter. We're all going through menopause, and we're in menopause until we die, right? That's it. That's the part. There's no real end to this. You may have less symptoms, but there's no end to it. So finding the right people around us and focusing on what really matters, I think this is a time, as you said, it brings clarity, and we should focus on that positivity and giving ourselves love and making sure we have the right people around us to support us. Go ahead, Paulette.
And actually, that was exactly what I was going to say, that the people that you choose don't always come from family. Family isn't always the most supportive. Family isn't always the best to have around you at the times when you're going through problems, because they don't understand. You know, I've seen a couple of families that have broken up. I don't mean relationships, I mean fathers, mothers, falling out with their kids, stuff like that happening. And I'm not talking about the Beckhams because I don't know them, but you know, that might be the most public one, apart from maybe Prince Harry. But we're talking all the time these days about, you know, um, especially Gen Z, as they call them, as being the ones that are really struggling to communicate. They're really struggling to have relationships. I say we all are. COVID had the worst effect on all of us. And I don't care what anyone says, it changed everybody, and not necessarily for good. It made us all become a lot more insular, a lot more self sufficient, a lot more capable of saying, you're down there, that's fine. You stay down there, because it worked fine when we couldn't see you for 6 months. It was fine, you know. You turn up, we got a problem. Um, so I think sometimes we have to look at our families, look at our toxic relationships, look at things that bring us down, because that will take from our joy. That will take from our opportunities to actually succeed, because we're being dragged down by other things. So only engage with people who are like-minded, who are supportive, who are caring and are loving, because that's what you're going to give them. Think about it as a trade. And we're not talking trade wars or tariffs. We're talking about a trade of, I'll give you love, you give me love. I'll look after you, you look after me. People can count on you because of that. They know who you are. That's who you look for in your friendship groups. That's who you look for in your support network. That's who you look for to take you forward with your goals, to achieve your plans, to walk with you on this yellow brick road. You know, your Tin Man will walk with you, and your lion will walk with you, and everybody who follows Dorothy and is with Dorothy on her journey are your friends. That's who they are. They walk with you, and they don't necessarily come as in it's my brother, it's my sister, it's my this, it's my that. It might be my next door neighbor is actually become so important in my life. Yeah. It doesn't matter where that friendship comes from. It's who you are, the essence of the person. Don't ever change to be someone else or for someone else. You are you, you are the person you should be, and let people love you for who you are. And then if you look outward and look for the same people, you're going to find a much happier, joyous life. And if you're in that mindset, guys, you will achieve whatever you want to achieve.
Yeah, that's so important. And it doesn't mean that the person has to agree with everything you say. But when you're sharing views, it comes from a place of, okay, I'm curious about what you know. I want to try and understand you better. And I love what Kimberly said. Hi, Kim. She says goals are not in the formal sense, more about how we intend to connect with others. And Bobby says, happy people bring me joy. That's just, I just love the comments that are coming in. And we talked about community. LinkedIn has such wonderful people. I'm amazed at how we support each other. I mean, yes, we get the one-off that we wonder why, but I think there are people on LinkedIn who truly support you from oceans away and miles away. And you're right, it doesn't have to be people that you share last name with. It can come from anywhere. So, I mean, the people on the stage, I might definitely love the two of you. Let me just say that. So it really has see, brain fog again. You don't have to be physically related to them or next to them in the same country as them to find that support. Hi, Nan Noni is here. Welcome.
Miss Pepperoni. Look, can we end on my favorite topic?
Oh boy, what are we ending on?
I guess no. The fact that food hasn't got to be cardboard and sand.
No, we're not doing boring.
Right.
2026 is we're not
Exactly.
boring. We want flavor.
I
No,
agree.
no,
I
no. And it's not salads. We're not cows. We don't eat grass all the time.
agree.
No, no, no.
Can I say, savor the flavor?
Yeah.
Yes,
No. So,
please let your food be interesting.
are you covering food in your workshop?
We are covering everything in the workshop: food, physical activity, and mindset. I saw a comment from Martha. I just want to read it. She says she stopped eating donuts, but she still has her home coffee. She stopped having Starbucks because the doctor says it's high in sugars, and she says she does feel better, and she's enjoying oranges. Good for you. What I would say to that is that if that is your choice and you feel better, great. But don't do it from a place of, I have to prevent myself from eating anything.
Mm.
Right? The science shows that you can still have your favorite food. So I can eat a donut every day. But what else am I having? That's the important thing. So it's not from a place of, I can't have this. It's okay, what else do you get to have? What does your whole day look like? What does your month look like? That is what determines health and wellness, not a one off day that you have one donut. Even if you sit and eat all the whole box, 6 donuts, that doesn't determine overall health.
Mm.
So don't think you need to give up your favorite foods. It just depends on what else you're having, the timing, the portion size. If you have illness, if you're on medication, there's so much that goes into it. And again, this is why working with a qualified coach that knows what they're doing is so important. Let's leave off the influencers on the internet who are just looking for likes and coming from a place of scare tactics and fear to get your money and for you to follow them.
Mm.
That's not what health and wellness is about. It's, as you said, finding joy, finding flavor, eating your favorite foods. We may have to cook it differently or add something else to it, and that's fine. whatever your choice is, we could work towards that.
Yeah, I will say, I think my greatest joy is probably food these days. You know, so being able to cook what I want and everything. I think there's something about, you know, every time I cook I have a meal that I cook, I just think, wow, that was stunning, spectacular.
Oh,
You know, I
wow.
think it's a joy that everyone should get to feel. You know, and I think, you know, it's for me, it's a simple matter of just knowing what I like and cooking what I like. You know, of course, I think like you said earlier, you know, is the amount, is the portions that the poison is in the portion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to have myself a bowl of rice, literally, I know that's not good for me. But I think, you know, you can afford to cook food that you genuinely like, you know, and stick to it. You know, so you know what's, you know, we don't need to beat ourselves up about food. So I've got a main meal that I have one day, next day I vary it, and I have something else. Now, it's between ribs and my rice and stew. I'm saying that between those two things, I'm never unhappy. I'm never, you know, I'm never wanting for nicer food. You know, I've seen people in the past. I don't know whether it's on TV or, you know, really about people who live long. I think they all have a food that they like. They have a thing that they eat that they've eaten for years.
Yeah.
And I say, no, now's our time to find that thing, to find that food that we genuinely do like, and indulge yourself. You know, it's a indulge yourself in you know, you know, healthy food that you like. You know, without not eating too much. I say without overeating, basically.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's where
I've
happiness
got
comes from.
Ellie, I've got a 4-year-old nephew, and he does food. He goes to his little coffee. He's got a little kitchen thing. It's only pretend, obviously. And he goes, we have to have colour on our plate.
Oh,
And I just think,
yes.
if you're
Thank
teaching
you.
that at 4 years old,
Yes.
we have to have colour on our plate. So you get something that's red and something that's green, and then he put something blue on my plate, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I like anything blue. And blueberries. And I was like, so how many people has he done that to, right? You know that that's his trick. He's going to catch you out with the blue thing, and you're going to say, I don't eat anything blue, and he's going to go blueberries, and it's his joke. And it's like, I've now had that done to me probably a dozen times, right? And he puts the blue thing on, and then he looks at you, waiting for you to say, I don't have anything blueberry. But you can't stop the joke because it's his joke, right? But the fact that at 4 years old, he knows about colour. He knows about what's orange is carrots. He knows about peppers. He knows about... These are 4-year-old kids that are being taught this now, that it's important in nursery to eat bits of cucumber that's green, you know? So if you can get kids in nurseries to learn this stuff, by the time these children, please God, grow up, that they will be healthier and fitter because they've learned this from a very young age.
Yeah.
And I think that it's not poison them. We're not pushing it down their faces. You must eat this, you must do that. What we're saying is you've got to have colour. So that means there's got to be veggies, right?
Yeah.
And that is a win. And so I don't care about the blueberry joke. I'll take it all day long because it's a huge win. He makes
Yeah.
a pizza, right? And everything goes on it. And then I go, what's that yellow thing? It's pineapple. I don't want pineapple. It's good for you. No, I don't want pineapple. I'll take the pineapple. And then he'll put a slab of bacon on, you know. He's got all this wiggly bacon. He's got all this food. And I'm like, what a fantastic thing to play with. You know, we're making pizzas and making plates of food. That to me is such a win at 4 years old. So that's preschool. So by the time they've gone through school, please God, they will not have the same wars with food as so many kids have had. There won't be as many young girls that have got all these issues and hang-ups.
Yeah,
Please God that there's not these damn programs like Love Island and all that crap that's on the telly all the time,
yeah,
and
very
people
unrealistic.
comparing themselves to it,
Yeah,
you know. And what we want to do is say to people, you just be you, but be the healthiest version of you,
that's it.
mentally and physically, that you can. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's it.
Great.
And the younger you start, the less likely they end up with these
Exactly.
eating disorders because they have
Exactly.
a healthy appreciation of food. And as I said, it starts with just that
Mm.
quick color on the plate. I just want to
Exactly.
touch on one comments that Dr. Marcia made, which I think is important. There are foods that are good and nourishing, but they don't work well with you.
Mm.
And I think that's something we also have to acknowledge. So I have clients who they're in menopause, and generally speaking, soy-based foods are good for women in menopause because it has the phytoestrogens that help with the hormones. Some women, they don't do well with soy foods, it makes them ill. So it's yes, we talk the ideal diet, yes, we talk about the general foods that you should be eating, but it still comes back to your individual plate and what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not available to you, maybe it's too expensive, or maybe it just makes you sick. You don't feel right after you eat it. All of that is okay.
Mm.
It is not about comparing. It's not about, okay, this works for this person. Why is it not working for me? We all can find something that is healthy that will work for you and bring you joy. We can
Yeah.
achieve all three.
Yes.
And again, this is why working with a coach that can give you the general information, but then when it comes to your plan, okay, what is going to work for you without a place coming from a place of judgment or comparing to others, I think that's the important thing. So thanks for that, Dr. Massey. I think it was a very important point. Um, so we're just we're over time, although this is the time we usually end. So I just want to encourage anyone listening live or on the replay, if you're a woman in midlife, so 30s onwards, or you're going through menopause and you need some support, or you're just looking for more information, please sign up to the event. It's this Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern. It's online via Zoom.
Mm.
It's about 2 hours. It's a live session that we're working on as a workshop, so there's no replay. We're not recording because we want it to be a safe space where we can actually have a conversation. But there will be lots of handouts on everything we're sharing. So if you can't make it live and you want to still get information, you can. We could have a session after if you have questions, but please sign up. I will put the link in the comments again after we're finished.
Please do.
And it's free, right? It's the first one we're having. So this one is free. So please take advantage of it. If you're looking to set up your health goals and then come up with a proper plan that works for you, this is the session to attend.
Do
Yeah.
you have a buy me a coffee on your page, Lisa?
No, but I'm really considering doing it.
Right. I would love
Yeah.
you to do that because I think everybody is getting so much value. It
Mm.
would be a lovely thing. And you know what? I'd love it for you to say to me, 6 people bought me a coffee. I'll be dead jealous because no one, I know, I've actually had 2 people buy me a coffee. In 2 years, I've had 2 coffees. I
We'll
really
try it
feel
and
like I'm
see.
a winner. I'm like a winner. But I think
Yeah.
that's the least we can do to say thank you for everything you give. So, please put it up there. Let people buy you that coffee because why not? Right?
I appreciate you saying that. So everyone, thank you so much. Those watching live on the replay, really appreciate the comments, the engagement. Join us again next 2 weeks. I think it will be close to Valentine's Day. Yes, we'll be on the 10th. Yeah. So the next conversation will be on, as Annie was talking about, those relationships. How do we communicate with each other? Especially as the woman is going through menopause, the whole family goes through menopause with her. So how do we have those conversations? So join us next 2 weeks for another wonderful conversation surrounding menopause. You'll have a good
Mm.
night and please be safe.
Yeah. Paulette, I suppose, what is your last message for today?
treat yourself kindly, be fair and reasonable to yourself, and remember to love yourself.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. You know. Hey, Lisa, you know, what's yours?
Sign up for my workshop.
Yeah, yeah, well, no, I suppose it ties in. It all ties in together. And I say, mine is simply look. You know, let's learn to have fun. Let's enjoy what we do. Let's enjoy
Yes.
do things
Let's
we
make
enjoy.
2026 a year of joy. I love that.
You
And
know,
you are happy every day, every time I talk to you. No matter what is going on, you are always smiling and laughing. I think we need to take a page out of your book.
now's the time, Lisa. That's why you know, go to Lisa's workshop and learn some of the things that will help you. To truly feel joy every day. You know, so by the time you are our age, you know, if not now, then when? Right? What you eat, you know, what you do, you know, how you relate to people around you, all of that. You know, it's everything just bring you joy.
Yes.
You deserve it. We all deserve it, really. You know, if you think I'm happy, look at Paulette. She's. I know she didn't go her now, but she's always happy. Like, she really
Yes.
is.
Yeah. Take
Now's
a
the
page
time.
out of these two books. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, my friends, thanks so much for joining us. Look, I struggled with the StreamYard thing and LinkedIn not talking today. You know, we'll
Well,
try
we
to.
are accustomed.
Yeah, so
That's normal for us.
do join us in 2 weeks' time. So we're going to talk about. Yeah, I'll say show love every day. Don't wait for Valentine's Day. I'll leave that for next week, all right?
Yes.
Now, Paulette and I are back on Thursday for the room that we didn't have earlier today.
Okay. Good.
Children's anxieties, setting boundaries. If that interests you, connect, and then I'll send the DMs out. So hopefully you join us there, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Lisa, as well. I
So,
hope you.
bye, everybody.
No, share the link for your workshop as well, so make it easy for them to join. All right.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Take care. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. Achieve success with Global.Media.